January 22nd, welcome back to Edgework. I'm Zack Phillips, joined here today by So Money, Alex B. Smith, and today we'll be breaking down everything that's going on in the NHL tonight. 6 games on the slate, so we'll get into each of those, give out our best bets for the ones that we've got there as well, recap this weekend a little bit, look ahead to this week. 2,000 subscribers here on the Edgework channel over the weekend, so thank you to everyone who's subscribed here to the channel. We do appreciate that. That's not where we're going to stop, though. We'll continue. 5,000 next, 10,000 after that. I want to keep this going. So while you're here watching, if you're new, if you've been here before, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. But before we can get into the show today, before we can recap the Leafs-Canucks game on Saturday nights that everyone was waiting for, I want to remind people that today's show, as always, is sponsored by BetStamp. The easiest way to improve as a sports bettor is by using multiple sports books and always getting the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp to help you do so. BetStamp compares odds across every sports book for games, futures, and player props so you can save time and money by checking BetStamp before you bet. Make sure to download the app today. It is available on iOS, Android, as well as on the web. Check it out there. And if you are looking to sign up for a new sportsbook account, check out the offers available at betstamp.app/edgework. That's betstamp.app/edgework. You can either search that one up or find that link in the description of the show here. Anything through there does help support us. I see a question here right away. JH saying, where's Zach getting the hot chips ready? I got to go and get those. We will have the stream here on the Edgework channel throughout this week of me eating the hot chip live on camera. But yeah, JH, I did make it here this morning. Yes, I am dreading the hot chip. But So Money, how did you feel Saturday night watching that game? I was waving the white flag after the first period. I thought it was over. There's no shot this team even makes it close with the Leafs here. They did. They made it a little bit uncomfortable for you, but ultimately you get it done. You get the win. How are you feeling? What were your thoughts on that game on Saturday?
I was feeling good the whole time. There was a time I was a bit concerned. I was in your stream for a bit. I was watching all of you guys melting down, which was fun to see. Of course, when I had to leave, that's when the Leafs started coming back. Right, then you tweeted at me with your congratulations when it was way too early. Right, that just that got me going a little bit. But yeah, I mean, once the Canucks took the lead back, I was feeling good that this version of the Canucks weren't gonna give it back again. So it was it was good. It was good. I felt good, and I'm looking forward to what you're gonna go through in the next little bit here.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough. I was saying on the stream too, like this is going to be something I'm going to have to battle through. The fact that the Leafs not only lose this game, we're dealing with the fact that I just don't think they're a great team this year. And now on top of that, I'm going to have to eat this chip because the Canucks take it to them. But I mean, so many we talked about. You said you knew that this Canucks team wasn't going to blow that lead once they regained it and took it back. You could tell right away that they came out and were like, yeah, we're not going to lose this game. We got 4-3 going into the second intermission and under Talkett, the way that they play, the way that they played all year this year, it's like that thing was over. And from the Leafs' perspective, I didn't think that they were going to be able to mount the comeback from down 3 goals, just based on the combination of their lack of ability to fight back and the Canucks' ability to shut things down and get these wins here. But ultimately, they do. It's an exciting game from what it was in the first period, where it felt like it might be a 7-8-0 Canucks win. They do climb back and make that one interesting. But hot chip challenge coming up here on the show over the next over this week.
Yeah, and then if you look at the totality of that game too, right? Like I didn't think the Leafs played that poorly, right? Like they 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 came out poor. Like the Canucks just blitzed them from the beginning, right? Which is concerning if you're a Leafs fan. Like I don't know why you didn't come out strong in that game, right? But the Canucks did let up too, right? So like, and that's concerning if you're a Canucks fan. Like, why did you let up, right? So,
Right.
I mean, it was if like overall, I thought the Leafs played well enough to win. They just didn't get off to a good start, right? And so again, there are still problems with the Canucks. Like, it's not a perfect team, but they do have kind of that gumption in the locker room where they are able to kind of um, fight back and like get over the hump in these kind of games where in the past they just weren't able to.
Well, it's almost as though they've kind of taken on the identity of Rick Tocchet, the guy
Yeah.
behind the bench there, and his mindset from even back when he was playing. So, surprise, surprise, that this team was going to get pissed off and say, yeah, we're not losing this one. Alex, you were watching more from afar. You didn't have as much involved in that one as So Money and I did, as much on the line, but just from outside observer and that Canucks Leafs game, were there other games there on the weekend that you were kind of keenly taking a approach to watching there on that Saturday?
No, I mean I did watch. Like I said, I watched a good amount of that Leafs and Canucks game because I was hoping for a draw. I had the draw in that
Right.
contest, and like I said, so kind of expecting a little bit of back and forth because that's just what we see from the Leafs against anybody on a Saturday. It doesn't seem like there's ever really. I can't. It's hard to recall. Oh, been a blowout on a Saturday involving the Leafs. It's usually like they jump out to a lead and then they blow it, or they're down 2-0, they come back and the game goes to OT or a shootout, and then they find a way to more than likely kind of lose if they get into the extra time. But yeah, so I was just hoping to get a point out of both teams, but it was a fun back and forth contest. And so Money said this about a month ago that the Canucks are winning games that they would have been losing in the last 2, 3, 4 years prior. And that's another one that you can kind of put on that list too. That's a game that the Canucks probably don't come back in and get that lead and hold it, or ends up they get the 2-goal lead and then they blow that lead and then that game goes to overtime. So yeah, we're seeing those patterns kind of stay the same for Toronto, but then we're seeing those things change for a team like Vancouver. And that has to be frustrating for Leafs fans when you're playing against a team that you didn't think Vancouver was going to be this good at this point of the year. And now here they are, playing the way that Toronto should be playing. When you look at the calendar and it's mid-January, 2 weeks before the All-Star break. So that's got to be the frustrating part. But it's a good hockey game. There's been a lot of great close battles. It wasn't the best of weekends for me, but from a fan standpoint, there's been some really good hockey to view. And, we're kind of starting to see the tide kind of shift a little bit because we're seeing this little trend of lower scoring once again. But keep in mind, as I mentioned, we're getting right into that stretch where we're getting for the All-Star break. Yes, all the top players who are going to Toronto, they're going to be getting ready for their weekends and different things. But all the other guys who aren't going to the All-Star games, they got their vacation plans. I'm sure a lot of them trying to get in some warmer weather, and we might see some different style of hockey played in the next week and the coming weeks leading up to the break than we're seeing from this previous weekend.
Well, Alex mentioned there maybe not the best weekend for himself, and was not the best weekend for the Edge recruit in terms of Saturday best bets that were given out. As a team, we do go 1-4 on the day there. Our only win comes from the Kings money line, who beat the Rangers 2-1 on Saturday night. But that does bring our overall record on the season to 198, 195, and 5. That's 398 bets so far this year. That's a 6.3% ROI for the team as well. So we'll look to continue that here today. Get things back on track after that 1-4 weekend. We'll start to turn things around here tonight. We do have 6 games ahead of us. We'll get into each of those, give out best bets for tonight. If you do have questions, send them in the chat there throughout the show. We'll try to answer them at the very end. We will go through all 6 games. If you want to see our picks from today, you want to see them over the past week, month, or just this season, you can check that out in the BetStamp app in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ. So head on over there. But let's get underway for tonight's games, and we will first and foremost start in New Jersey with the Devils hosting the Vegas Golden Knights. New Jersey here tonight, -120. You see the Golden Knights coming in on the road, +109, and a total of 6 as of right now. So, Money, what are your thoughts on this game, whether it be side or total?
Sorry, I was just confirming something. So Vanacek is going to be starting in goal. He's coming off a nice game there previously against Columbus where he did play well, but that doesn't hide the fact that he's been struggling most of the season, right? And I don't think he's the better option there. So we can go ahead and lock in Vegas. I did play them earlier. I'm a little surprised that they are going with Vanacek. They did make some changes on like the defensive pairing as well and it's coming out at the morning skate just a few minutes ago. So yeah, we can. These are a couple of teams that I feel are going in a different direction here. We talked about Vegas a couple of weeks ago, or even last week, that they were struggling, and I wanted to give them some time to kind of see if they can get out of it, just because they are the Cup champs. So they do get a lot more rope with me, and we are seeing that they have come out of it. They're starting to play very well. Um, still some injury concerns, but Logan Thompson has found his game now, right? And um, he's someone that I was high on I was very high on last year, coming into the season, and it looks like he's kind of, after his injuries, after his time off, it looks like he's slowly starting to find his way in the league, which is always nice to see, especially when you're talking to me about young goalies. I like watching them. I like watching them come into their own. So I think we're seeing that in Thompson, and these wins for Vegas here, they were they were legitimate wins, right? They all of these games, like, it wasn't just a scoreboard game. They did deserve to win that game. So I am liking the way that they're playing. I'm seeing a dip in the Devils' play, and that's where the edge is coming in for me right now. So um, anything plus money on Vegas is where I'm at right now.
All right, perfect. Well, if you shop around, there are plus money everywhere. So we're going to grab best price in market there at Pinnacle plus 109, but there's widely available plus money. So don't worry about that. If you're watching now, if you watch 30 minutes from now, if you're listening back on podcasts, it is out there. Alex, are you going to take a similar approach? Do you have a different way to attack this one tonight?
I'm leaning actually toward the draw in this. I think this could be a closer battle. You got Vegas starting a road trip, going up against the New Jersey team. We've seen them with some kind of sloppy wins against some lesser competition. Had a close game against Montreal. I've seen a couple of close games with them. Against losing to the Habs. Had a kind of a slower paced game against the Bruins. Ended up losing that game late, blowing it. Game gets blown wide open in the third period. They lose that game 3-0. So I can see this being a closer battle, and that's the kind of the way that a lot of these cross-conference games will go, especially we see them later and later in the year where both teams just need points. If it's tied at 2-2 with about 5 minutes left, we're not going to start seeing a whole lot of physical body checking. You're not going to see teams risk putting themselves, into a penalty-killing situation and giving up a goal, and then you go home with 0 points here. So this was definitely one of those games I feel like could have a good pace early and then just completely come to a halt late. And taking the draw here, seeing plus 333 at Caesars, plus 324 at Pinnacle. I think this definitely could go past 60 minutes.
Do you want to go full unit, half unit?
This would be a half unit.
All right, half unit plus 333 there at Caesars on the regulation time draw between New Jersey and Vegas. Also going to grab the Vegas Golden Knights money line plus 109 there as well. So 2 plays in the first game of the day, 5 more to go here. We'll continue to break these down. I do want to give a reminder to people, or a notice to people in the chat here as well. You guys asked, you commented on the videos, you commented on Twitter, you tweeted at us, DM'd us, whatever it was, looking for Discords. If you didn't catch Rob's stream on Saturday night or on Sunday night there as well, we have launched not a Discord, but a new community feature here for people in the Hammer as well. It's called if you go over to thehammer.bet/thenails, you'll find us in there. You can join the community to join conversations across all of our different channels as well as the main community there. So make sure to check that out. That's thehammer.bet/thenails. We'll send the link in the description here as well for people to go check out. But that is up and running now. You guys asked, we delivered. We found a new way to try to bring this community together. So make sure to give us reviews on there. Let us know what you think. But that is underway. Now, continue on with the games here tonight. We'll continue to go in order. The Boston Bruins hosting the Winnipeg Jets. Boston minus 130, Winnipeg plus 120 here tonight. We see a total right now of 5.5. Alex, what are your thoughts on where this total is currently sitting at? Do you have an opinion on the side? Or is there any way that you're going to get involved from betting perspective?
Yeah, I have to heavily lean toward Boston in this because you look at the series histories, it's absolutely insane, especially in Boston. The Bruins have won 18 of the last 20 meetings with the Jets organization. I think that's actually kind of going all the way back even when they were the Atlanta Thrashers still. So that's a long, long time of a team going to a certain spot and just having their struggles there. And this is a Bruins team that you trust a little bit more at home than you do on the road. Laying this cheap of a price, you're not going to really get too many chances laying anything in the $1.20, $1.40 range with Boston. Even though they're playing another first place team, I don't think this is going to be one of those spots where Winnipeg comes out and bullies Boston around. That's one thing that I've noticed about the Jets team. As good as they are and as skilled as they are, they don't have that necessarily try to beat you down mentality like they once had when Paul Maurice was there. They have the bigger bodies, but you see them kind of get pushed around a little bit more than when, say, 3 or 4 years ago, they were the ones doing most of the physicality. That being said, I like Boston here in the spot, and this is within my range where I'll lay the $1.30 here on the Bruins.
Bruins money line minus 130 there. We'll take second game of the day. Continue on with another money line. So money. What are your thoughts on this game, side or total?
Yeah, the market moved Boston here earlier than I wanted, so I'm a little annoyed, to be honest, because I did miss out the number that I wanted on Bruins. But I do agree with Alex's thoughts. I think that the Bruins are the bet here. We talked about this last week with the Bruins, where I felt that they were so close to breaking out offensively, right? Like they were right there. I was just waiting. Of course, we played the over against the Devils, and that was a 3-0 game. But after that, they put up 9 goals, put up 5 goals, right? So they are breaking out, and what we were talking about with them is coming to fruition here. They are playing a Winnipeg team that does profile as an under team. I am starting to see some signs of concern with the Jets play here. They're not as tight defensively. Um, Hellebuck is kind of bailing them out more than he has in previous games. So I do expect the Jets to start struggling here a bit, and that combined with where I see Boston just on in the process now of really taking off. So I will begrudgingly pass at this point. I think that in the minus 130s, it's out of my range. But if we can get it into the mid minus 120s, or obviously better at the low minus 120s, I do it. But it is Boston for me. Just trying to see if I can pick off a better number since the market already moved it on me.
All right, fair enough. Well, not there for so money right now, but it is for Alex, so we will lock that in at the minus 130, but not too far off from where we need it to be for it to be a double best bet. But again, we will recap all the bets at the very end of the show, so don't worry about that. If you didn't miss anything or you're wondering about games that were covered earlier, we will recap all of them at the very, very end. But continuing on here, tonight we got Moretto's Nashville Predators against Moretto's Florida Panthers here tonight.
What's he gonna do
Nashville
here?
plus I know this is he's betting on the draw here tonight, hoping that this thing goes 30 rounds in the shootout and everyone calls it a tie. They walk away with other points. The Predators plus 111 hosting Florida. The Panthers coming in minus 122 right now, and a total of 6.5's out there somewhere, but those will be juiced to the under. You can see those kind of heavily juiced to the under on some of those books. So, Money, what are your thoughts on this game? Is there anything for bets that you've got here, or is this maybe just a cheer for Moretto's tie?
Well, we're not cheering for anything Moretto wants, um, but I think that we've gotten to fair market here. I do like Florida. I think that my thoughts on Nashville in general are no secret. I'm still waiting for. We're seeing signs of it, which is nice, but I'm still waiting for Nashville to really start struggling. So, and I think it is imminent. It's going to happen soon. But for tonight, I think that Florida in the mid minus 120s is where they should be. I think it's fair. If where my target on Florida was minus 117. So that's where I need it. If we see any sort of a dip throughout the day, um, I'll be the one gobbling up the rest of the Florida prices there.
All right, well, so Many, I don't know if you took into account the dad's trip for
Yeah, there you go.
Florida. Big Walt's going to be getting a bump. Charles saying that this is worth 10 cents to the line. I don't know if that was factored in at all, or maybe that one's already actually being bet in from where you had it at the number you were looking for. So maybe maybe something to consider. Alex, is this something that came across your desk this morning you took note of?
No, but I mean it's a good thing to look at. The dad's trip has been very strong with a lot of teams. I think the Vegas Golden Knights have the best dad's trip record in the NHL. St. Louis not too far behind on that, so that's something that I will look at. It's not going to completely move the needle, but it's something to also look into when you're talking about this is a one kind of trip road game after the end of a 5-game homestand where they lost 4 of the last 5. So getting away from Florida may be the best thing, and having a little bonding time with the dads, that may be something to kind of shake the momentum up for this Florida team. You guys joked about Moretto wanting to draw. If that wouldn't be a horrible look either. Florida has gone past regulation in 3 of the last 5 games, but I like totals here. I like goals, so I'm actually going to split up. I like a half unit each on the first period over 1.5 minus 125, and I'll also be on that over 6 minus $1.10.
All right. First period over, we're going to go half unit on that, and then the half unit as well on the over 6 there. So 2 best bets in this one. We'll lock in half unit on each. So first period over 1.5 minus 119, and then for the full game, the over 6 minus 106. There you go. Lots of bets for everyone today. We start off the week strong here. We'll be absolutely firing at the board. Now, as we lock these in here quickly, sorry in the background, we'll continue to move on. We got a few more games left. Again, if people have questions about the games that are going on here tonight, or if there's anything you want to see covered more, you have questions about, make sure to send them in there. We will try to answer, but we are going through every game here today, so don't worry, because next up we got the Arizona Coyotes, plus 133, hosting the Penguins. Pittsburgh coming in minus 140, best price available on a total of 6 at books like Pinnacle. You can see some 6.5s out there as well. Alex, what are your thoughts on this game? The Coyotes hosting Pittsburgh here tonight, and where the side and the total currently set at.
Yeah, this Arizona team's been kind of just seemingly kind of teetering right now. What we saw from them in their first kind of month or two, the burst that they had, seemed like, okay, they could be a team that's going to just hang around and should be a wild card contender. Maybe if they really made a boost or made some trades in the by the deadline time, they could be in that 3rd spot in the Central. And now it's kind of starting to seem like, okay, maybe this team's regressing back to where they were supposed to be, just a middle-of-the-road contender in the Central, not a team that's going to just hang around and do too much in the West. That being said, in this contest, taking on a Penguins team that they've struggled against for a very long time, they've lost the last 12 meetings against them. I would not be running to the window to bet Arizona. If anything, it would be Penguins or pass, but it's definitely just going to be a pass for me.
And so, Money, do you have anything here? Or are you passing as well?
I'll be passing. I do agree with Alex here. Arizona, we're seeing them kind of dip, and it's been happening for a while now, which is not entirely surprising. We'll see where they kind of if they can recover a bit here to challenge for the wild card. But and Pittsburgh's a team where I've been high on all year, so I think, and Pittsburgh have been playing well for the most part. It wasn't a great game in Vegas for them the other night, but for the most part, they are playing well. So I think the line is fair in the mid minus 140s into the 150s. I think that's where we should be.
All right, before we can move on to the next game here, I do see a question in the chat. We might as well get to this here right now before we close this one out with the last two. Charles asking, any thoughts on Waugh? Also, next coach fired. Was personally looking at Keefe plus 700. Don't know if he can survive another bad stretch of games. This isn't something we had necessarily talked about or had prepared to talk about, but do either of you guys have any thoughts on the Islanders hiring Patrick Waugh? I will say from my perspective, I think that this is going to be kind of funny. I know Michael Leboff had kind of tweeted about it as well there, but like the idea of Lou and Patrick Waugh operating within the same organization under Lou's cone of silence, that's going to be pretty funny to track and watch how that goes about and how those two intermingle. But we'll start with Waugh. Any thoughts there on the hiring for the Islanders, whether it's like good hiring, bad hiring, or just no opinion at all?
You want to go first?
Well, I mean, like, what I love the move. We've talked about the Islanders all season, right? Because they're a team that has kind of lost their identity, right? They were supposed to be a defensive team. kind of grind teams out, tough physical play, and they've been playing in pond hockey most of the season, right? And they're very poor defensively. So when you've lost your identity and you can't do anything with the roster, like I mean, you have to look at the coach, right? Now, long term, this will be a highly combustible situation, right? But we don't care about the long term right now with this team, right? Um, they're they're built to possibly do something now, and if they can't do anything now, then the long term doesn't matter anyways. Then you deal with that down the road. So I think for now, it's a good hire. Let's see what if he brings that energy or some sort of fire back into this team because they haven't shown any of it, right? So yeah, we'll see. I like the move. I don't know what else they could have done. You can't just like the Oilers situation, right? You can't flip the whole roster. So let's try to bring in some new people and see if they can if they can re-energize the team.
What are
Yeah,
your thoughts on this, Alex?
yeah, and I guess like I said, when I first looked at it, I thought it was kind of a crazy move because we've been talking about one of the things with the Islanders that they've been doing differently this year compared to the last 5, 6, even 10 years is playing bad defense. And when you think about Patrick Ross' 3-year tenure in Colorado, defensive stability was not something amongst it. And so, that being said, he said you got to kind of take a step back and look, okay, this isn't a long-term hire. This is definitely an interim, like you said, kick the can around, get things rolling, and get something shaken up there in Long Island. And that's what this move is clearly predicated on. So you're going to see the new coaching bump. We already saw that with the nice 3-2 overtime win last night against Dallas. But like I said, long-term, this is going to get worse and worse. And if things don't improve right away, if there isn't that big coaching bump, and let's say this team only wins, say, 2 of the next 6 games, then do we start seeing things go off the tracks right away, or what? So it's an interesting move. It's a gutsy move. I don't really know if it's going to work out for the Islanders, to be honest. But like I said, you had to do something, and I'm sure down the line you're going to look at trying to maybe get a coach like maybe a Dean Evison or someone more established that you can build something around long term. They want to get a guy in right before the camp and have all their situations and philosophies kind of implemented. So like I said, for the short term, it makes sense. Got the media's attention, got all of our attention, but let's see if he gets the attention of those guys in the locker room.
The other point on Wall here too is that Alex touched on it. He wasn't known as a good like that. Those Colorado teams weren't good defensive teams. The only my kind of my rebuttal to that would be that at that time he was a trailblazer in the sense of like the NHL coming like everybody just pushing forward, right? And like he was kind of at the precipice of that, right? So he's the one that kind of pushed that forward. So I think that and we saw right like his like influence shortly after, right, with like with like many other teams just like
Goalies getting pulled early and some
yeah,
of
I'm
those
just waiting.
things.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for when he pulls the goalie with like 12 minutes left. That's gonna blow people's mind.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it'll be a fun situation to watch. At least I'm looking forward to post game interviews. Whether or not he actually has the cone of silence, all that kind of stuff, it will be pretty exciting. I guess there was a second part to that question there, and you guys can give thoughts on that quickly. But so, Monty, next coach fired market there as well. Charles saying they were looking at Keefe plus 700. Would you get involved in this? Do you think that there's a path for this to happen? What are your thoughts on the next coach fired? Is there another person you might be looking at?
I think that there is a path for Keefe. My only question and thought would be if they were going to do it, right? Why haven't they done it already, right?
Yeah.
And of course he's got that he's got that contract extension and I don't know like in terms of money wise, Zach, you can speak to the logistics better than I can, but my only question would be if they were going to do it, like why hasn't it been done already? So that makes me think that they're probably writing the season out at least.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Also, there was a comment here from Rich, which I would probably agree with. Like, Are they going to do this ahead of the All-Star
Yeah, no,
game?
totally. Good
It's in
point.
Toronto here.
Yep.
Probably not. So then also, again, it goes back to So Money's point. Okay, now you get through to February 5th, the end of the All-Star break. You come back. Now you have a bad week after that. You're almost into March here. Are you going to fire him then? Like, it just kind of feels like that's that every day that passes makes it less and less likely that he gets let go. So that's the problem there. I don't know, Alex, if you're in same
No,
opinion, different opinion.
I mean, I'm just looking, like I said, yeah. This is awfully late for a coaching move. So, and the names I'm seeing, that the favorite right now at one place is Don Granado at plus 150. Pascal Vincent at 8-1. Those are guys I do believe will lose their jobs, but more than likely will be after the season ends. So I don't think there's any. And I dipped in this market a couple of times. Of course, I had Dean Evison, hoping to get 28-1, but then when the change was made in Edmonton, I had to go and buy it back, got plus 400. So sometimes you just look at a name and you keep hammering it until the guy gets moved. But in this instance, this late in the year, I don't think any of these names get flipped. So I wouldn't be making a bet here in this market.
All right, 2 games left here. We'll get to those. This next game, this is the battle of the Monday Friday show here. I saw a comment earlier. The hot chip challenge for tonight's game would have to be like 4-1 based on what we're getting on the odds here. You see the Blackhawks rolling into Vancouver plus 350. The Canucks hosting here tonight minus 414, and a total right now currently sitting at 6. Alex, take it away. What do you got here for tonight? What are your thoughts on this Blackhawks-Canucks game?
Yeah, if we were doing the one chip challenge bet, so many would have to find the hottest salsa in the world and then dip it in that as well for this one, because the odds are just completely skewed, and with good reason. I mean, the Hawks, here's the thing. They're about to start this 4-game road trip out west, and it's going to seem to us old school Hawks fans like the old circus trips of back in the day. For those who don't know what the circus trip is, when the Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey Circus would come to town, usually around Thanksgiving time, because they always wanted to be in Chicago for Thanksgiving. That's another long tradition. So the Hawks would be on the road for about a week, almost sometimes 2 weeks, and they'd play usually starting in Vancouver, and then they go through Western Canada, or then they start in Vancouver and then go all the way down to California and then bounce back up around. And these were dreadful trips, no matter how good or bad these teams were. There were just years where back in the day, you hope that they got a tie against somebody like San Jose or Vancouver. And outside of, the glory years of 2008, 2009, 2010, when the Hawks were thoroughly kicking the ass of Vancouver in the playoffs year after year, things, of course, shifted in 2011. And now here we are, where Vancouver's won 13 of the last 16 meetings against the Hawks. And chances are they put the screws to them tonight. So I'm going to go Canucks team total. I saw over 4.5 at plus money over at Pinnacle. I'll obviously be looking for some other prices here in this nation, but anything 4.5, I definitely like this. I see Canucks can name their score, and I have trouble seeing them scoring less than 5 goals. So,
okay, so we'll go the Canucks team total over 4.5 plus 147 there on Pinnacle. Alex, before we give it to So Money and see what his thoughts are, half unit, full unit. What's the?
Yeah, this would be a half unit play.
Half unit on the Canucks team total there over 4.5. So Money, I'm sure you like hearing that, Alex's perspective on what your Canucks might be able to do here tonight, especially name your score, name your number. What are your thoughts on this game, and are you kind of in the same page as Alex?
I actually don't like hearing Alex's thoughts here, because it kind of gives me some pause here, because I do like the under in this game. But of course, like, Alex is more dialed in with the Hawks and kind of what they'll be giving up here. So I think for the Canucks, there is a possibility that we'll see Casey DeSmith in net. Once that happens, the market will adjust like they always do, and they'll over adjust because Casey DeSmith is not as bad as people want him to be, or that they think he is. So that's the reason why I haven't bet the under yet. Because I'm waiting for Casey DeSmith. That's going to push the total up. I don't know if we'll get a 6.5, but if Casey DeSmith is confirmed, we'll get a nice plus money under 6. In terms of the Canucks scoring, yes, Alex is right. They can probably name their score, but what I also see in this team is that when they have kind of poor defensive efforts like they did against Toronto, they generally like to come out the next game. And this is Tocchet's MO, right? He's been very open and clear about this, where the team likes to clamp it down. And a lot of times that adversely affects their offensive output as well. But we're talking about the Hawks here, right? So like even if they are kind of slowing down offensively against the Hawks, like is it out of the realm of possibility that they're going to score 4 or 5 goals, right? Could this be a 5-1 game? Like, yeah, it could be,
Yeah.
right? So
Right.
that does cause me concern. I'm assuming Mrazek is a net, which even though he's maddening sometimes, he is clearly the better option. So I'm waiting to see where we get to, if the Smith is confirmed. Obviously, if it is Demko, then I think the under makes more sense right now. But I do have a sneaking suspicion here that we're going to see Casey DeSmith in net. So that's the reason why it doesn't make sense to make this bet right now. But give me a plus money 6 once the market overreacts to a DeSmith, and I'll be there.
I will
Plus
say
money
one thing.
6, 5
Oh,
nothing game here tonight.
I will say one thing regarding with the Hawks lineup. Nick Foligno is on this trip and should be back in the lineup, moving to the top line for the forwards and in the power play. So that's something to keep a look for a team that's had literally nobody who could score right now. Nick Foligno is literally leaps and bounds the best scoring option on the team if he's starting and back in the lineup tonight.
All right, well, one more game here to get to for tonight, and I think I'm hearing the same things here from Moretto. Producer Jason looking at Sharks -1.5, Hawks -1.5 parlay. So we're not going to track it here, but just in case, just remember that Jason is looking at that one. Now, final game of the night is the LA Kings hosting San Jose Sharks. LA -370, the Sharks +327. Again, another total of 6 here. So, Money, what are your thoughts on these LA Kings? You took them over from Matt Russell, who said that he didn't want them anymore after what they did to us on Tuesdays. Can you get behind them at all here tonight at this -370?
I mean, minus 370 with a Riddick in net. That's a tough ask here, right? I think that we are. I don't blame the Kings coaching staff here, right? Like we know that the way that Talbot started the year, that was unsustainable. We see him kind of hit the wall, and Riddick has. It just seems stupid to say it, but like he's played well the last couple of games, right? And now they're probably going to be riding him. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be laying this kind of price on Riddick and net. Um, I'm not going to be getting involved with the Sharks right now. So because I do feel that the Kings, again, they're probably like just getting some consistent goaltending away from vaulting up there into elite status. So I will pass on this game, but I can't I can't I can't justify anything here.
All right, fair enough. Alex, anything for you here?
Yeah, I'm sure Rob Blake's just got to be on the phone every single day trying to
Yeah.
find some relief for some goaltending because you can't just keep riding David Riddick right now or at any point, honestly. You need some help fast. That being said, this is a clear stay away from game. There's no way I'm laying any of these crazy prices with this Kings team right now. That's been pretty abysmal. They should be able to get off the schneid and get the win here, but not worth jumping in with any money.
All right, fair enough. Well, that'll do it for today's picks. To recap here, you can also find all of our bets, the entire show catalog that we've had over the course of the season or dating back to last year as well. You can find that in the BetStamp app in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ, so make sure to check that out. But for today's picks, over 6 games, we covered all of them here. We do have a bunch of bets. Stick with us because we do have half units, full units, so we'll break those down here as well. But we're going to start first and foremost in the Vegas, New Jersey game where we have 2 bets for half unit on the regulation time draw plus 333. As well, we're going to take the Vegas Golden Knights money line plus 109 for a full unit there. Then we're going to go to the Boston Winnipeg game. We're taking the Bruins money line minus 130, full unit on that. Then in the Panthers-Predators game, splitting this one up, half unit on each. First period over 1.5 minus 119, half unit. And then the game total over 6 minus 106 between Florida and Nashville there as well, another half unit. And the final bet of the night, the Battle of Alex and So Money, the Monday-Friday show. The Canucks, the Blackhawks. We're going to take the Canucks team total over 4.5 plus 147 for a half unit there as well. Plenty of action on the ice here tonight. We do appreciate everyone who tuned into the show. Thank you so much for the support as always. Thanks for getting us to 2,000 subscribers, 2,000 followers on the BetStamp app. The support for the show continues to be incredible. We do appreciate all of that. So thanks to everyone who tuned in here today. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel. If you listen back on podcasts, we do have a big podcast audience as well. Subscribe, rate, review. We appreciate that. So thanks to everyone who tuned in here today. Alex So Money, thank you guys for taking the time to do this. We hit 2,000. February 15th, the stream of myself wearing a Habs jersey will be coming up. The Leafs lost to the Canucks. The stream of me eating this hot chip will be coming up here at some point this week.
Poor Zach.
Just an incredible month ahead, but
Wow.
Amazing stuff. Thank you guys for the support. Thanks for tuning in here today. We look forward to seeing all of you guys back here tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Until then, enjoy the games tonight. Good luck on your bets.